about the relationship between Moses and his father-in-law, Jethro. Because they had a friendship that I believe we can learn quite a lot from. And it says this in Exodus: Moses' father-in-law heard everything God had done for Moses and his people, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Moses' father-in-law Jethro, along with Moses' wife and sons, came to him in the wilderness where he was camped on the mountain of God. And so Moses went out to meet his father-in-law. He bowed down and he kissed him, and they asked each other how they'd been and went into the tent. And Moses recounted to his father-in-law all that the Lord had done. And then it says this: Jethro rejoiced over the good things the Lord had done for Israel. So Jethro got alongside Moses and he rejoiced with him. He said, hey, I'm going to encourage you. Let's rejoice over what God is doing together. But then it goes on to say, the next day Moses sat down to judge people, and they stood around Moses from morning till evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw everything he was doing, he said to him, what is this thing you're doing for the people? Why are you sitting alone as judge while all the people stand around you from morning until evening? He says, what you're doing is not good. Moses' father-in-law said, you will certainly wear yourself out and the people, because the task is too heavy for you. You can't do it alone. So Jethro had encouraged Moses, and then he said, but what you're doing is not good. He challenged him. He got alongside him and he challenged him. And so who can challenge you? Who can challenge you to get outside your comfort zone, to love bigger, to love better? Who, for you, are your Jethros? The word Jethro, the name Jethro, it literally means his excellence. His excellence. So who in your world is pouring out the excellence that God has already placed in you? Who is that for you? And we have two friends that we have given permission to in our life, that we've said to them, hey, if you ever see us drifting or you ever see us stepping outside the things of God, we want you to kind of drag us back into the things of God. We want you have full permission to sit us down and say to us, hey, tell us straight, this is not the right direction for you. So who is that for you? Because we need those people that are going to pour into us if we are going to then pour out onto other people. And who are we going to be Jethros for? We have to ask ourselves, who am I going to encourage? Who am I going to challenge and pull the gold out of? So who recharges you relationally? Think about that. What relationships maybe drain you? And then think, we need both. We need people both ways. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to love others more. And lastly, from me, how we can do this is, I believe this: take what God has done in you and give it away to someone else. Take what God has done in you and give it away to someone else. One of my favorite verses is found in Romans 8:28. It says, for we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. God wastes nothing. God wastes nothing. And so we need to know who we're called to serve, to reach, to invest in. I'm going to show you a photo right now. This is my dad. He's actually passed away now, but this was soon before he died. And my dad was a great man. He taught me many things. He taught me how to love life. He taught me how to haggle a good deal. If ever you go to a market or something, I'm the first to kind of haggle a bit, because I learned that from my dad. And he was a great man, but he was also an alcoholic. He struggled with addiction. And so I grew up in a single-parent home because he left when I was 4 with just me and my mum. And there were so many days where I longed for that connection with my dad. I would kind of get my stuff ready for him to pick me up on a Saturday, and it turns out he had had a drink and would turn into quite a different person when he drank, so he forgot about picking me up. And there was birthdays that I would have where all I wanted was him to say happy birthday. I never got a birthday card often from my dad. Never got a phone call. And I had this longing in me for kind of family, male affirmation that only God knew about. I only kind of uttered that in my deepest being. Before I even knew God, it was kind of in there. And when I became a Christian, God restored so much. Thank goodness for the local church. Thank goodness for the local church. Because when I came into church, suddenly I was surrounded by mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and this family that I had longed for. And I want to show you a picture right now. This is a picture last year at Centre Parks, good old Centre Parks, of Josh and Caleb and Pastor Steve, my father-in-law. We don't just take our pastor on holiday with us, also my father-in-law. And this was a moment, I'm no bowler, okay? Like bowling, I don't do that. I feel like people that have been Christians their whole lives are really good at bowling. Is that a thing?
I did win.
You're really, maybe it's because you're just my, yeah. I'm not good at bowling. But I had just got all these what are they called? Skittles. Skittles. What are they called? Pins. I just knocked them all down. Okay, it's good. We've got a point. I just knocked them all down on my second time, which is a miracle if, you'd ever see me bowl, because I'm the person that would probably drop it behind me, all that. But anyway, and this was Caleb, Josh, and Steve cheering me on in that moment that was captured. And it was a picture for me in my heart of, wow, God restores everything, a desire that I have had from a child. Now look, I've got these 3 guys cheering me on in that moment. And, so now my desire is to create environments where relationships flourish, where we place honor, where family deepens. But that's an easy thing for me because it's just doing what God has already done to me. He has done so much, and I'm just giving it away to someone else because I've seen the impact that it's made. It makes it easy. God doesn't place anything ill-fitting on us. And so it's not a striving to keep an open house. It's not something we must do. No, it's something that comes naturally. And the how, it looks different for us all. Right now, we haven't got so many people in our house all the time with bedtimes and all babies and all that kind of stuff. But there's people in this church, Anne Webster, someone I can think of, who has baked cakes for me in moments. I genuinely believe she's got a prophetic cake baking gift, because there have been moments where I've been so overwhelmed, and I've just got a cake from Anne Webster. It's like, God, how did you know? She's baked me a cake to make me feel like, wow, someone noticed me. I don't have that gift. That's not my gift. In fact, if I showed up at your house with a cake, it would not be a blessing. Yeah, it'd be a curse. I'm the person that if you have a baby or a new house and you're one of my friends, I order you Deliveroo, or I show up with a pizza because you don't want me hand making you anything. But anyway, we all have the how is different for us all. Praise God. We all have a different how. And whatever it is for you, I just encourage you, take what God has done in you and give it away to someone else.
If you enjoyed this video today, why don't you click subscribe and click on that notification bell to get a notification the next time we upload a video. And if you're new or you've been coming to the C3 Church for a little while now, why don't you find out what your next step might be in the journey of faith? Click on the next step link in the description below to find out what your next step in your journey might be.